labda miaka mitatu.
What is the government doing for financial inclusion for both comrades and young people?
My name is Nora Lukosi, Wakili and Director at the Youth Enterprise Development Fund. I'm a champion for youth inclusion in policy-making processes and a comrade at heart. Once a comrade, and all of us are here because we are comrades at heart. We understand the challenges you are going through. Tunajua comrades wanainama na tunajua comrades wanagongewa, and we are here to make sure that we are empowering our comrades economically, politically, so that hawagongewi na hawainami, ndio? Yes, first of all, allow me to appreciate our SG, Honorable Hassan Omar, for creating such a good platform to engage comrades in political participation. There is nothing for young people without young people. And what I am witnessing here through this comrade forum is that the SG is empowering comrades, because comrades are leaders of today and not tomorrow. I am a young person as well, and being on the board of Youth Fund, I can attest that the UDA party has the interests of young people at heart. You can see Doris Cherotich, my fellow panelist from TUK, is also a comrade. Maliba is also a comrade, and we have so many comrades in UDA party in appointive positions, in elective positions. So comrades, take advantage of this information so that you can empower yourselves and also be meaningfully involved in policy-making processes. I'll be talking about inclusion in policy-making processes, and particularly in matters financial inclusion. The Kenya Kwanza government is very heavy on financial inclusion for youth, women, and persons with disability. And there are affirmative action programs that the government has come up with to support young people to be economically empowered. We have Uwezo Fund, we have NGAV, we have Hustler Fund, and we have Youth Enterprise Development Fund, or Youth Fund, which I am here to talk about. Youth Fund is the fund designed specifically for young people, to empower young people through enterprise development. We are here to put money in the pockets of comrades. UDA, kazi ni kazi. Sisi kama Youth Fund tunaweka pesa mfukoni kwa mifuko ya vijana, and I will be telling you how you can access this money to empower yourself while you are still in the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faith Nora. Please clap for her. Unajua, you guys mmepata city juzi, so kuna vile hamshtuki mkiona watu wametoka Nairobi. Mtupigie tu makofi tafadhali. Hata kama mko na city mpya, najua yenu ni mpya. Hey, comrades power. Viva comrades, viva. Comrades transact. Nyinyi hamjui hiyo? Sawa. Anyway, quickly, I'd love Professor Machuki. Professor, habari ya leo?
Nzuri sana. How are you?
I'd love you to start where it really matters here. That is the new funding model. I just want you in 2 minutes to explain why was it necessary for us to change, and explain a little bit of it, because kuna propaganda mingi sana, majitu story na hizo vitu zingine. So take just 2-3 minutes to just tell us why we changed and how it looks like and where where we are going. I know part of it is in court, but that doesn't stop you from talking about the policy end to it.
Thank you much, moderator. Comrades power. Comrades power. There is quietness there. Or you are TikToking. Is it TikToking? Comrades power. Comrades rear. Comrades transact. Thank you. It will be confirmed. Thank you very much. The leadership of the UDA party, represented by the Secretary General, and herein having the National Treasurer, Honorable Japhet Nyakundi, and all the protocols observed, our chief guests, the comrades. I'm happy that this session is here not only to advance the comradeship in the UDA, but also to mentor the young people so that the strategic intent of His Excellency the President is realized. He talks about the next generation, and this is a deliberate effort to build leadership for the next generation. Quickly, going into the new funding model, it is one of those policy conversations that have gone on, and we continue to engage. And I want to point out that the government of Kenya is obligated to provide public good. And one of those public goods is education, both from the basic education, tertiary, and higher education, that is at university. It is also a fact that for a long time had attempts toward funding universities in Kenya. And as we sit here, early 90s, there were very few universities, and currently public universities together with the private ones have increased in number. And the government is largely concerned with funding students who are admitted to undertake regular programs in public universities, but through a legal change, the amendment of the University Act 2016 provided that government also funds students in private universities. The new funding model came on board because of the issues that were raised in the previous funding model, otherwise called the differentiated unit cost. It has always been an argument that it takes a cost to, for a student to pursue a particular program in the university. The differentiated unit cost was framed in such a way that a number of factors will be considered to arrive at a cost of a program. But what happened is that those factors will be aggregated in a manner that will arrive at an average cost and not the exact cost of offering the program. And even with that average cost, it was clear that government was to fund 80% and household was to fund 20% of the differentiated unit cost. Ever since it was initiated, it happened that government was not able to meet its 80% of the differentiated unit cost, and that way, the framework that was used, which was a capitation framework, where every university will have an account or let's say, a vote with the treasury, and the money will go to the universities and not to the students. So the new funding model came on board, one, to be very realistic with regard to the cost, the exact cost of running a particular program. So if it is law, if it is medicine, if it is sociology, there is the exact cost of funding or of running that particular program. So then government is here buying the services from the universities. The long period of government not meeting its 80%, it made a number of the universities run into bills, and some of them were declared or almost being declared bankrupt, actually insolvent. By the year 2022, 23 universities were technically insolvent. So to sort that issue out, we formulated the fact that one, we need to look at the exact cost of the program, and two, we need to look at the mode of funding. The mode of funding was migrated from funding students at the same level in all programs in the university to fund a student specifically, so that if you are undertaking a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology and another person is undertaking a Bachelor of Science in biochemistry, the cost of running those two programs will be different, and the funding will then be provided for to the universities to follow the students. Secondly, it was established that in our Kenyan society, we have households that have got different economic or income means. And from the 2020 Kenya National Bureau of Statistics household income, annual incomes banding, we found out that there are 5 bands. The lowest one is at 5,000, and the highest is at 120 and above annually. So we then established that different students in our Kenyan society who get to universities actually come from families that have got different levels of incomes. And then, using that particular information, we were able to argue a case that in the old funding model, students who come from humble backgrounds, students who come from backgrounds that are able, they are funded equally. So in the spirit of equity, in the spirit of inclusivity, we found out that there was discrimination in the previous funding model. The new funding model then will consider a background of the student in terms of ability to pay in order to determine the level of need of funding and the cost of the program. Then we asked ourselves a question: how does government then do the funding? One, students who are at the bottom of the pyramid, those that are vulnerable, those whose annual income is below 5,000, will have access to a higher proportion of the scholarship and a lower proportion of the loan, and the lowest proportion of the household contribution. And the students, and that figure, then that percentage continues to be incremental to those that are in band 5 who are able to fund to a particular degree the level of the loan be able to repay. Then the scholarship is lower and the household contribution is higher for purposes of equity. Now, ever since this model was then introduced, students who get admitted to universities, you are required, you get a letter admitting you to a university, and you are told the cost of the program you have been admitted for is 720,000. You are then advised to apply for funding from the Higher Education Loans Board, and in the application, you are supposed to supply particular information. This information, the family background, the primary school that you attended, then the size of the family, and the rest of other details are then taken on board to construct what is called the means testing instrument. So the means testing instrument is not just a creation that is theoretical. It is practical, because it is the information that is provided for that when it is analyzed, it places you in a particular band to exhibit and demonstrate your level of need for funding. 2022 KCSE students who were admitted to universities, the new model was applied, and it was fully, they were fully satisfied, and it was only in the 2023 KCSE admissions that issues were raised. And I can tell you where the issues were raised. The issues were just in the operationalization of the means testing instrument, because the information that is provided by the applicant, when processed, it then places a student in a band that they feel they don't belong to. That was the major issue. And therefore, it is what I believe the committee that has been established and the probably issues that will be canvassed in the judicial system that we will need to deal with the means testing instrument, but most importantly, the information that applicants give. And the model is very dynamic in the sense that if you apply during your first year and in the course of your study, either, unfortunately, we don't pray that that happens, you lose a parent, one or both, then every year you are supposed to update the system. And that is how then the model is dynamic. It responds to the changes in the dynamics of the applicants, but also it looks at the economic situation of the applicants. Ever since this new model was introduced, government budget to education and to higher institutions of learning was increased so that many of the universities that were actually being declared insolvent, the vice chancellors of those universities have come out and have said they are coming out of the indebtedness that the old funding model had driven them to. And therefore, as we engage in this conversation, truth be told that we are not all equal in terms of economic power. That many of the students who are from the humble backgrounds could be excluded to access higher education because of the inability to pay for the higher education. And that therefore speaks to the priorities of the better plan that the government is using in running the affairs and administration of its affairs. The core principle of inclusivity, that no one will be left behind in this administration, and the students and the children from the humble background are equally brought into the fold to access education from the very basic all the way to higher education. And therefore, that is the whole logic behind the new funding model. The very finer details that I have not been able to talk about here could be issues that will be canvassed in courts and so forth. But I've just provided a broad rationale why the new funding model was introduced. It was based on fact, it was based on empirical evidence, and if anyone is seated here, you could access for the last 5 years what used to happen in the differentiated unit cost funding framework and what has happened in the new funding model starting from the year 2022, and you will be able to have a comparative analysis that is empirically informed, and you will have a conclusion that the new funding model is actually working to get many students into universities and to get many universities out of their indebtedness. Thank you.
Clap for him. It's just important to remind you guys that before HELB, there was something called HELF, established in 1952. In 1992, we reviewed that and came up with HELB. So the arguments that it has always been constant is not true. We graduated from HELF, that is the Higher Education's Loan Fund of 1952 that was changed in 1992 to come up with what we have as HELB, and now we are trying to move to a new platform. We always change to suit our situation. He spoke about equity. I need to repeat that. Equity. Carol, uko na kitu ya kusema kwa Daktari James?
Okay, Mr. James Maina, the question is, I want you to kindly advise on the available opportunity for college students in the affordable housing project.
Thank you. The affordable housing program is an ambitious the government of the Republic of Kenya aiming to develop 200,000 units per year. This program is born out of a long initiative that has happened, and what has been happening in our country and in the world is that the whole world is going urban, and that's our future. Then, if our future is urban, we must make deliberate, intentional initiatives and strategies to ensure that our people will be living in urban areas that have services, and they have houses that are adequate with reasonable sanitation standards. Our country, Kenya, is expected to hit 50% of its population living in urban areas by 2030. Within a few years, majority of our people will be living in urban areas. But what is happening in our urban areas? People definitely come to urban areas. They need places to live, and that is what is happening. Today, in our urban areas, we have over 50% of the population living in either slums or informal settlements with extremely very expensive living conditions. Why do I say so? A person living in a slum or in an informal settlement pays, and this is data that has a record, pays over 100% for the cost of water as compared to a person living in a formal settlement. And of course, the cost of power, sometimes through illegal collections, is also double the actual prices. Meaning, the poor people are paying more for services than the people who are well or who are doing better. And the initiative of affordable housing to realize the development of 200,000 units must have a capital base, and this capital was achieved through the Affordable Housing Fund Act. Remember, there is always a question, why do you want to build the house for me? Why the government has to be involved in building houses and no one leaves? Everyone goes home at the end of the day. But if I say, the only number of houses that has been constructed from the demand of 250 is 50,000 by the private sector. Meaning, over the years, we have been cumulatively not getting 200,000. And as today, we have approximately 1.8 houses that requires to offset the cumulative shortages. The Act, the Affordable Housing Act, provides in its section 2, the purpose of the affordable housing is to develop houses as well as institutional housing. And what is institutional housing? The Act again further defines what institutional houses is. And institutional houses are houses that are for civil servants, police, and student accommodation. And here now comes another big challenge that we have in our country. The student enrollment by 2023 in our universities was 462,000. For TTI, TVCs, the student enrollment is approximately 408,000, meaning almost close to 1 million students we have in our universities. But again, these are some of the challenges that we need now to surmount, because approximately only 10% of the students are accommodated in the universities. And I'll give an example of the University of Nairobi. It has an enrollment of 50,000 students. And the number of students that are there today being accommodated in the school are only 10,000. When I passed through Hall 11, where I used to live when I was in the university in 524, I always check, and I have never seen any other hostel built almost 25 years down the line. And at that time, we were only 15,000. And this complicates the parents and the student together. When we went to get the opinions of the people on the affordable housing law, parents told us, we will support this law if only you help our students get accommodation. We are paying too much money, and this is draining our pockets. And when we took it to Parliament, they accepted, and today we have a plan to build student hostels through this fund. So, as part of our program today, we have over 300 applications from the universities And we have shortlisted, tried to work out a program for TTI. On our phase 1 of the project, we are starting with 181 TTI, TVCs, and KMTCs spread across the country. And we are also working on 50 universities. All of these, we cumulatively, in this financial year, once we start the projects, because we have put this budget, we are going to start construction of approximately 150 beds for students. And why the interest in student accommodation? Universities worldwide do have exchange programs with foreign universities in order to build the intellect and development of education. Students require an environment that will enable them develop their intellectual capabilities. But a student living in the slum,
Babati structure struggles to feed. I've heard you say Kuinama. Luckily enough, today I've learned Kuinama. It's just today to let the lunch pass. Am I right? So, if the students are taken back to the university, they will save, or the parents will save that money, and the student will have some money
to take care of his personal needs, his or her personal needs. So, for the program to be sustainable, the universities will have to pay back to the Affordable Housing Fund the amount of money that was used to construct, but over a long period of time. Meaning, when it is spread to that years, the student will be paying an affordable amount, which will be decided by the university and yourself, your student leaders. You know what will be affordable for you. That decision will be made by yourselves. And limit that money. Once the money is limited back, it creates a sustainable fund that will keep on developing more affordable hostels until this shortage is overcome. That is not the only part that the affordable housing is dealing with. The affordable housing also deals with social and physical infra. So once we go to build the student hostel, we are not going to build only the hostel. It will be accompanied by other social facilities, such as playgrounds, social hall like where we are. And this will also enable the students to develop further. When you go to housing, similarly the same. Adequate housing does not mean only a house. It means houses with other facilities, including play areas, markets, shopping center, so that we make our cities sustainable. And our cities, we have people to celebrate what we call celebrating cities, or what we call live, play, and work places. That is the ideal situation of the affordable housing, and we are making it a reality because today we have over 124 houses going on under construction. By close of the year, we'll start handing over these houses. In Nairobi, we'll be handing over, by December, we'll be handing over 1,000 units in Mukulu. Here in Eldoret, we have over 5,000 houses ongoing. We'll be handing over. We are pushing the contractor to finish a project of 220 units here in Eldoret. We expected it to be complete by December. So it is a reality. Herein now lies the other benefit that comes together with the affordable housing program. The construction industry has a very long value chain. It's not only building. It pushes factories to produce steel. And when factories have demand for steel, they have to increase their capacity to produce, and they have to create more people for employment. And it goes on and on. Doors, windows, hedges, all the components and elements that go to a building is quite enormous. And beyond that, we are working with the TVETs and other institutions to give students practical experiences when they are learning, particularly those who are in the built environment. And we give them internships. We are learning a program of 4,000 internships to students every year. And that is our intention. And when students want to go for practical lessons, we take them to our sites. And this is a program we are working with the universities, with your lecturers, and with the ministry responsible for higher education. Let me go to another point. And this point is how you can access the houses, because we are just about to hand over. The program further has a platform called Boma Yangu. The Boma Yangu platform is to minimize to the very minimal human interaction with people who, or with citizens who want to buy a house. You only need to be 18 years and you have an ID. You take your phone, star 832#, and you start your home ownership journey. You'll be required a 10% deposit, and if you cannot be able to raise the 10% deposit, we have the housing board which can be able to facilitate you get a loan to get your 10% deposit. We have various typologies fit to the pocket, from people who earn below 50,000 Kenya shillings. They have a house below 1 million across the country. It doesn't matter where you are. The house, you can get it by long-term loans, by cash, or by various installments. The long-term loan is called tenant purchase scheme. The TPS will enable you to pay around 3,200 every month, and the house becomes yours. It also has houses for middle class. The middle class earning 100,000, and for the higher income earning over 100,000. This is because the levy of 1.5% to the income of the citizens or their salaries, and the income of 1.5% from the employer spreads across all incomes. So basically, for equitable, we have to spread it to every citizen, have an equal chance of getting this house. And for the young people, immediately you finish your school, you get a job, start saving. You can encourage your parents. Maybe you are living here.
Maybe you don't have an opportunity to get a hostel in the school. If you don't, you can encourage your parents to pay into the affordable housing scheme, and you can move into that house immediately. You have saved enough to join the house. You select your unit where you want it through the online platform I have mentioned, and you can live in that house as you are a student and paying monthly installments. The lucky thing,
maybe after your school, or maybe you are working here and you have been transferred maybe to Nairobi, you don't know where to take your house. That has always been the question in many people's mind. Now, I've gotten a house. I want to go to Nakuru or to go to Nairobi. Don't worry. You plan your journey to Nairobi, find an equivalent house of the same price, select the house in Eldoret, and take the new house in Nairobi, wherever you are, or wherever you want to go. Meaning, in simpler terms, it's like you are putting your house into a low loader. You transport it through Nakuru to Nairobi. It's possible. Then, you started as a young family. You are single. Now, you have gone loud and loud. You've gotten a nice boy, young man. You have children. You have more money again because you are also growing. Because life is just about growth. You don't want to be the same static level. So how do I deal with this house? Now that I have a single room, it has a toilet, yes, it has water, but come on. Now I have a family. I don't want my child to be seeing me and my wife where we are living. And I have money. I want to enlarge my house. So this now becomes more easier because again, you get a more expensive house. Wherever you want to change the estate, you identify another house. The amount of money you have paid will be deposited to the new house. You surrender the other house, and then you move to the other better house. And that is the essence of the affordable housing program. It is real. That's what has been happening in other countries. People don't care about buying plots. And once you finish your house, we have the Sectional Property Act, which was enacted some times years back, and enables people to own a part of the building, and you'll be issued with a title once you finish payment. If you don't want to take the 30 years period, you can pay as and when you have the money, but you take a longer period so that you can, if things go bad, you can be able to pay incrementally. So let me stop there.
Thank you.
And hope that I have answered most of the questions that you'd want. We have one point I have, this point is good, I should not have forgotten. The program is also working towards moving the Juakali sector. Not from Juakali, we cannot stay in Juakali all the years. We have set aside some of these elements in the affordable housing program or in the construction industry. All of them we have set and link-fenced in the current project that we are having, 4.4 billion worth of elements that the Juakali people can supply directly to the affordable housing. It's no longer that you'll be making one door, two doors. We are working with the Juakali sector, with the banks. We work together. They get tenders directly to supply doors. And we have cases where Juakali people have supplied wall doors and windows worth 100 million. People who just used to work only 10,000, 20,000 on a day or a month, but now they have sustainable supply of door and windows. And we have put them all, the Juakali, together, and we are working with the ministry in charge of micro and small enterprises in order to ensure that this work is directly given to the Juakali and micro small enterprises so that they can move to cottage industries. Let me say, most of the products that we find here, like tiles, like hedges, some of them are imported, and it is a pity for a country of 50 million people, which is moving to be developed, it is importing hedges. And we are importing them in India and China. In India, they are normally made by cottage industry. They are made from the house, packed into lorries and brought here. We are not going to no longer be the market, or we create jobs for other people outside the country. We will create our jobs locally here, and that is what our president wants, and I believe that is what you in class you want to do once you leave the school. Thank you.
Thank you. Please clap for James Maina. For those who might actually have missed the gist of his last submission, he said that the affordable housing project is about three things. Thing one, jobs. Thing two, jobs. Thing three, jobs. Now, moving on quickly, we have got Joshua Rapsang with us here. He's from the Office of the Government Spokesperson. So quickly, because we're going to the top of the hour, I'd love to remind you that the people you are talking to largely, except the SG who is here and the treasurer and a few other people here, most of these guys are Gen Zs. Now, Gen Zs are natives, digital natives. They were born in. Unlike you and I, who are millennials, and we grew through the revolution, these ones are digital natives. So, I'd like you to start from this point. Number one, this digital economy, what the government is doing about it. And number two, as you finish on your submission in a minute or three, also tell us what the government spokesperson does, the Office of the Government Spokesperson does. Some of them are very good spokespersons here. Na mara mingi wao wanatulazimisha wanataka microphone waongee kwa bidii sana. We would love to have such like government spokesmen in future. So just quickly, and then so that then we run without a little bit of interruptions. After you are done, I'll bring in Professor Machuki, please. In just 3 minutes, you talk about SHIF and SHA, and then we will go and pick questions. Doris, you will prepare to tell us about the issues you want as a young woman in leadership. What are the areas you want to be helped in to help your leadership journey? Director Faith Nora, you tell us about how to access youth fund. I'm talking about as you respond to questions, have that at the back end. Then we will come back, of course, to James Maina later on, responding to your questions. So once he's done, Professor Machuki, and then we pick questions. I've taken time to remind you that way, and I need to tell you this. I tell audiences every time that when Professor Machuki spoke about funding, it's about you paying fees, right? Si unajua kulipa karo? Hello? Si unajua kulipa karo? So if you don't pay attention, even if you pay fees, you don't pass your exams. I say that because we are going to open up this session and you will be asking questions. If you don't pay attention, you will be asking questions that they've responded to. So write your question, think through, listen, and prepare so that then you don't go back to what they've already spoken. Karibu Joshua. And then the other microphones can start. We can have ushers prepping and being ready.
Thank you very much, Maliba. Comrade Power for hosting us here. I'm happy to see the young people in this hall. Thank you, SG, and Treasurer for bringing them here. As you have heard, my name is Joshua Rapsang. I'm the Director of Public Communication at the Office of the Government Spokesperson, which is in the Office of the Executive, which is in the Executive Office of the President. So our government is so mindful about the youth of this country. As Maliba said, yes, we are all gone into a digital way. As I can see, I've been seeing here when we were singing and the rest, everybody was on phone, at least taking something. I don't know if it is TikTok and the rest. That means a lot that we are on that digital way. The government is doing a lot in that line. Every constituency as we talk, around 274, almost all, but now 274 already have digital hubs. These are places where youths, Gen Zs, students, even people who are just at home and you wish to do something online, you just visit that center, do your work there. There is free internet, computers there, do your job, go home, and like now in issues of health, as somebody will talk about it, you can go to some of those places and register, because these are in our constituencies and they are for us. Jitume hubs and Ajira centers, which are mostly now domiciled in most of the colleges in Kenya. As an office of government spokesperson, we have been visiting most of them. We were in Harvest in March, and I can assure you, your colleagues are earning a lot of money working online while studying. People are earning dollars. Some of them have said they have even paid their rent. They are not now requiring money from their parents. Somebody is saying how? Just go to Jitume Center, they are there. Free computers, free internet. What you need to go, just get there and register yourself. Surely you will get the online jobs. You have seen our president traversing the whole world, trying to get jobs for you people. Some of those jobs are online jobs. And I can assure you, yes, I saw a guy who says he has started even chicken poultry farm at home, still studying, but he has a poultry farm coming from the earnings from Jitume Center at Harvest. Another one has treated the mother who has been very sick. The father could not afford, but because of that money she has been earning, she has been able to do it. So there are many things that are happening on the issue of digital. The government, through the digital highway, super highway, and creative economy, has introduced that. And they are in our colleges, they are in our constituencies, as I have said, the digital hubs. It's up to you to go there and work. Most of us would wish to go abroad, which is very good, to work. But you know, some of those works are here. How does it feel that you wake up from your bed in your house, go get into your computer, do your job, get your earnings into your phone, and you are still in your area? Haujashughulika na mambo sijui ya passport, sijui mambo ya ndege kupanda, umeimalizia yote kwako. You get your money at home. Is that not good enough? So those ones are there. What we need to do is just to appeal to your leaders, especially the MPs, because digital hubs are supposed to be in every constituency in Kenya. Appeal to them. And the president has said they get a house for the hub. The government will supply computers and internet. So digital is the way. As in the Office of Government Spokesperson, our main job is to highlight what the government is doing. We go to a place, look at what the government is doing, we tell you, we amplify what the government is doing. We listen to you. What you are saying, we also tell it to the government, and things will work. So for us, that is the main thing we do. We have had so many of you. You have given your cries, especially issues like the new education model, funding model. The president is listening. The government is listening. This is a listening government. Since that time of Gen Z's, you woke us up, and I believe you have seen a lot of changes. The government is listening. Yeah, we are listening, continue speaking respectfully, and we will listen and act, because we are all Kenyans. Some of you are our children. I think, yeah, they are, because I have somebody 22 years, should be here. Yeah. So you are here, we listen to you, we just talk respectively to all of us, we listen. And I'm happy that this thing has come through the party, UDA, the Comrade chapter, bringing you all together across the country for us to tell you what the government is doing. So the Office of Government Spokesperson is open, as is to say what the government spokesperson. That one is talking issues president. We talk issues government. That is the two offices. Because wasikia wengine wanasema kwa nini ofisi mbili? Si huyo anatosha, atoshi kwa sababu ule ni mambo ya president na shughuli zake, anaenda wapi, anafanya nini? Sisi ni ya serikali. So kama kuna kitu unaona mahali, tell us. We will come and we will tell the officers in government that are responsible that this one is happening. Wakenya wanataka hivi na watafanya. Let me stop there because of time. We will continue answering more questions. Thanks, Maliba.
Thank you very much. He spoke about two offices of communication, the spokesperson at the State House, and then of course government spokesperson. He forgot one very important spokesperson, and that is the Secretary General of the United Democratic Alliance. He is in charge of all matters politics. He speaks everything politics. So, hiyo usisahau Arab sang ama tutakuita ingine. Anyway, having said that, Professor Machuki, you will have a lot of time when they ask questions. Just go through Chief briefly, and then Nora, I'll give you 2 minutes so that I allow the comrades to speak. I'll give you 2 minutes to talk about how to access youth fund. Then we open up the floor. So kama uko na swali, anza kufikiria. Ashas, you can move around. I'll be coming down there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Allow me to expand my comment so that I preempt a number of issues. One, I would briefly talk about the government's transformation through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Number two, I am in the agricultural zone, so I want to delve into dealing with one of the pillars of the plan, that is agriculture. Then I will finish with that pillar, the universal health coverage. Allow me to say this, that the current administration is the first one after the KANU regime that is managing the economy using its manifesto as an economic blueprint. Some other previous governments, they come up with a manifesto, then they develop a policy document for the management of the economy. The Kenya Kwanza administration has its manifesto, that is the government policy, and it is the plan that the government is using to manage the economy. Why bottom-up economic transformation agenda? The strategic intent of His Excellency the President anchors the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. What is the intent? The President intends to entrench the implementation of the Constitution. The second intent is to institutionalize politics, moving from personal-based, tribal-based economic politics to issue-based politics. You can attest that ever since the Kenya Kwanza administration took over, it is now conversation about the cost of living. It is conversation about the new funding model. It is conversation around health and universal health coverage. It is conversation about taxes and the politics of governance. It is a transformation that was intended and that is at the core. The last principle that anchors the intent of His Excellency the President is democratization of the economy. All of us have witnessed the dominance of those who are the capital owners in the management of the economy. The economy has been brought to the masses at the bottom of the pyramid through programs that promote the micro, small, and medium enterprises, decriminalizing business, and therefore giving everybody a chance to play in the economic growth of this country. I thought that if you access the better plan, you will be able to see those key principles that are elucidated in the President's opening remark in that plan. Entrenching the Constitution, implementation of the Constitution, democratization of the economy, and institutionalization of politics. In that plan, therefore, analysis found out that there are key issues that are of concern to the economy, and they became the priority areas that this government intends to deal with through the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. 1, lowering the cost of living. Number 2, ending unemployment. And that is where now the youth come in. Number 3, dealing with the foreign exchange imbalance. And that is where in agriculture I will be talking about reducing imports, increasing exports, and there is an aspect of labor migration to enable the diaspora remit more for the economic development of the country. Number 4 is about enhancing or broadening the revenue base. You will realize that when men are brought into the fold to play actively in the economic growth and in the economic activities, then you broaden the revenue base so that government gets resources to fund its programs. And that is why there was a response to the call that young people, many people were held captive in the most famous predatory lenders, those digital lenders that will give you some credit, you fail to pay, they blacklist you, you are cajoled into an economic purgatory where you do not have any other way that you can access credit. And number 5, inclusive growth. So bottom up means that everybody at the bottom of the economic pyramid is brought into the fold. That is where equity comes in. We have talked about education. We have talked about health. We will talk about health, that everybody must be brought into the fold, leaving no one behind. Those are the principles. And for the turnaround, the quick turnaround in addressing the cost of living, in looking at unemployment, in looking at revenue-based expansion, and so forth, 5 pillars form the core towards dealing with those issues. The first one is agricultural transformation. The second one is micro, small, and medium enterprise development. The third is affordable housing. The fourth is digital super highway, and the creative economy. And the fifth is universal health coverage. No wonder those 5 form the focus of the president. But we realized that they need to be enabled. So if you go through the plan, you will find manufacturing, you will find ICT, you will find education, you will find governance, and you will find climate change issues there and all that. So in a capstone, you have this plan that forms the basis for policy development and the policy processing. So at the Council of Economic Advisors, we process policy because this particular plan was developed within the context of a perfect storm. The global development in the Ukraine, the COVID-19 pandemic, the geopolitics, and all technological, political, economic developments, the interest rates issues in the US and all other places made it so compulsory and imperative that we have to change the way of managing the economy. I thought it was important that as comrades, you also know that government is run on a policy document, but for that very broad plan to be operationalized, we now process particular policies, we come up with legislation, we come up with institutional arrangements to enable the implementation of that plan. And let me tell you, because it is transformative, it is change-oriented, there is a paradigm shift in the way things are done. And within any context where you introduce change, where you become transformative, where the transformation is so fundamental, you don't fail to face resistance. And this resistance that is coming is actually giving ideas. The resistance could be because of lack of information. The resistance could be because of political inclinations and so forth and so on. So I thought that I needed to put that into perspective. Now, one of the pillars in the plan is universal health coverage. Historically, it has been analyzed that in Kenya, for us to have a robust economic growth, we need to have a health nation. And for those of us who have been wondering, and the conversation and a moderator that you asked, SHA, SHIV, and all that, let me point it out this way. Our Constitution, 2010, provided that the government has to provide health to its citizens. It is one of those fundamental rights. And the same Constitution devolved the healthcare system in Kenya. And for a long time, there has been an issue to do with financing. Government has been spending and spent up to 550 billion Kenya shillings. That constitutes 63% in healthcare financing. There is another 20% by the households and another 10% that is contributed by household but through insurance schemes. So annually, a household but through insurance schemes. So annually, a household spends close to around 150 billion from our pockets and so forth and so on. This is a heavy burden. So the universal health coverage comes in to deal with three things. One, access to quality healthcare services. Number two, to ensure that everybody accesses the same quality care. Everybody is what is meant by universal. And When we analyzed, we found out that the issue about financing and the issue about access were major concern. So how did universal health coverage deal with that? For those of you who listened to the president's speech yesterday, he highlighted three things: promotive, preventive, and curative care. At the very beginning, the government intended to ensure that the quality care should start at the community. And at the very community level, government launched the community health promoters, 100,000 of them, kitted them, and then ensured that they go to the households, they take parameters, and they are able to actually treat some conditions that are preventable at household level. To ensure that there is access to health care that the community health promoters are not able to handle, the conditions are then referred to the nearest health facilities at level 1, level 2, and level 3. At this level, we have to deal with two things. One, the medicines, the medical products. Number 2, the facilities. And number 3, the human resource. In these facilities, or at this level, government takes care of the medical services that are being offered there. Now, how is it made possible? Government, through Parliament, passed a law called Primary Health Care Act. And that mandates the government, both at the national and at county level, to provide health care to Kenyans through capitation to those facilities, level 1, level 2, level 3. Now, to deal with governance issues in the now defunct National Health Insurance Fund, government enacted through Parliament another law called the Social Health Insurance Act. This one is so structured in such a manner that it encapsulates, it gets everybody into the fold. The national, the NHIF that is now defunct, used to focus on, one, those that are employed through payroll system. And therefore, it could only be able to offer insurance services to those that are employed and they can contribute through the payroll. Number 2, the ordinary Kenyans who will contribute, we used to have those contributing 500 and so forth. They used to do what we called adverse selection. For those of you who remember, and it is here that you can attest, you will find that it was not consistent. People will start contributing when they are sick. You get admitted, somebody pays and backdates the payment so that they are able to access the services. So it is called adverse selection. We then realized that for us to make everybody contribute continually, it has to be mandatory. So there are those that are not able to contribute, and those are the indigents, government contributes for them. For those that are in the informal sector and are not in the formal payroll system, we have a package. And the government talks about 2.75 of the gross income, and that is determined by the means testing instrument. Initially, it was a payroll person in a family. Right now, it is household contribution. Right? And then there are those who will contribute from the blue and white collar jobs. Blue-collar jobs are those in the private sector who are employed, white-collar in the government, and so forth. So when you look at all that, the Social Health Insurance Act, housed in the Social Health Authority, over and above that, government thought it wise to introduce two more funds. The Primary Health Care Fund, I've talked about it, that deals with level 1, level 2, level 3, and then the Critical and Emergencies the fund for those whose conditions are beyond and they are critical, the cancers and so forth, they go to that level. They are referred to level 6 and so forth. So that act, called the Social Health Insurance Act, what you now call the SHIF, it is housed under the Social Health Authority that administers two more other funds to take care of different illnesses at the different levels. The Primary Health Care Fund, government takes care of it. The Social Health Care Fund is contributory and it is mandatory. Then the Critical Health and Emergencies Fund is also by government. So that tells you that this government takes health care matters seriously. To deliver that, because we realize that in NHIF, the claims were being manufactured. You find a small chemist registered under NHIF as a level 5 facility. So there is an employee, somebody in NHIF, colluding with those scrupulous health facilities to defraud the government through fictitious claims. I told you last time that there is evidence that some facility will have names of men who have given birth. Right? You will find a facility so small than KNH having done 120 amputations. And all those are processed. Because of that, we dealt with the issue of governance. So, the Digital Health Act took away the human intervention in claims management, risk management, and the claims processing to a digital superhighway. From the time a doctor prescribes to the time everything is done, it is in a system that is very robust, and that is where the issue of false and fictitious claims are now being handled. The last one, Pana Moderator, so that I finish, is an act that ensures the sustainability and the quality of the services offered by the health facilities, level 1, level 2, and level 3, and that is called the Healthy Facilities Financing Act. This one ring fences the user fee that is collected by these facilities to be used to improve the facilities themselves. And these facilities are under county governments. You'll discover that many times the user fees collected in these facilities is used elsewhere to do a road, to do a bridge, to do some gate somewhere, and it was never, the resources were never ring-fenced to develop the quality of the instruments and the facilities in these particular institutions. And that is why that particular act was necessary. So, when you want to talk about universalizing healthcare delivery, that is what is meant to universalize. Everybody has access to quality health care. Now, let me say this as I close. There has been challenges in transitioning from NHIF to SHIF. The reason is that for the facilities that were empaneled in NHIF, they are supposed to be empaneled by SHA, and they are supposed to sign contract purposes of ensuring that they agree to offer quality of service at the same rate to everybody who accesses these facilities. Previously, you will only know that somebody who is able can only go to Nairobi Hospital or Aga Khan and so forth. If you access Nairobi Hospital, if you access KNH, if you access MTRH, if you access a much health facility where I belong, the quality of treating the quality of health care in terms of the cost of treating malaria, for example, the treatment you are given should be a package that is the same for a senior government official, for a household at the very low level in society, and that is at the core of this universal health coverage. Quite a lot of it, a lot of issues in there, but in the coming weeks, there will be full transition. And as the President pointed out yesterday, it is going to revolutionize healthcare service delivery in this country. I have been able to now differentiate what NHIF was, what SHA is, and what SHA, SHIV, and all those issues are. But more importantly, also, because we are in the digital economy, Bwana Moderator, I want to encourage the comrades use that available resource to go into the Ministry of Health website and go to SHA website and also make sure that you look through those acts of parliament, the law and the policies in there. And I hope that all of us have been encouraging our households to register in SHA through *147#. Thank you very much. Asante.
Thank you, Prof. Clap for him. You know, Professor Machuki can only do it the way a professor can do. We asked him to tell him about SHA and SHIF. He did it from principles and foundations, the framework, the history, the philosophy, until we've gotten there. He's done it so well. Let's give him a proper clap for that. Now, I had promised the Director Youth Fund to actually respond, but looking at how people feel like, I'll give her the first response once you ask questions, and I'll love you to actually pay attention to what I'm going to say. We will pick the first round of 9 questions. 3, 1, 2, 3, then here in the middle, 1, 2, 3, then here, 1, 2, 3. Now, listen. A question is a minute. You are 700. I cannot afford to give you more than that. For a comment, I can be fair enough and give you a minute and a half, a maximum of 2, if it's building or feeding in. If you want to talk about a complaint or any other thing, you write it on a paper and you give me. I'll complain on your behalf, so that then we enrich the conversation. Comrades, power. The whole essence of town halls is to have policy conversations. If you want to riot, there are places out there. The Constitution allows you to do it elsewhere, right? If you have got elsewhere, there are other things to be done. So policy conversations should be had in a way that enriches, and it depends. So allow me, for purposes of being fair and equitable, to only give 1 question per person, and I'll repeat 1. When I say that, and you show up with a paper written, I'll give you a chance, but I'll cut you midway. Just be fair to other people. However passionate you are, take 1 question. Siyo tumelewana? So that we move freely. So, Faith Noda, you will be the first person to respond after the first questions and take the first 2 minutes to talk about how to access Youth Fund. I'll grant you that. So, where are the ushers? Tuanzie nyuma, so that I get a question there, a question here, and a question here. Ushers? If you want to ask a question, you raise your hand. So we start here, your name, the institution, and the question or the comment.
Thank you. I'm Wekesa Chesoni Titus. I'm the Secretary General, University of Eldoret. My question, I will combine it. The SHA, SHIF, and all that. We used 104 billion to do the transition of that particular thing. Why was it such a big amount not to be used in improving the NHIF? Then our SD is here.
No.
Wait.
Clap for him.
I've just
one question per person.
I've shortened the
Wewe ni kiongozi, question moja. Get the microphone to the next person, please. Fair enough. Get me. Cut the microphone. Comrades, power! Comrades, power! Nikipeana instructions tunasonga pamoja. Hello? Because all of you want to talk, right? Sindio?
Okay.
You've asked a question, you can repeat the same note too. To be fair, do not try and scandalize this. You are my younger brother, I asked one question and I'll stick to that.
Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, wisdom. I was to talk about funding model, but
it's
let
fine.
me respect you.
Get me the mic. The next person here, I want us to be fair to other people. Next question. Here, where are you? Get the mic, get me. Tukue tu fair. Swali moja ama comment moja.
Comrades, power. Comrades, power. My name is Ian Limo, and I'm a student at Moi University. I have one question that touches my profession. You have clearly highlighted that there are digital hubs, but as we all know, all of us cannot work in digital hubs. At the moment, according to Kenyan labor laws, no one is allowed to work without fair remuneration. As we speak at the moment, we have 1,300 youths who are medical interns who've been working for 3 months without pay. It's taken almost a year for the government to solve this situation, and it has not solved it. My question is this: how long does the government want to take in solving these issues? There can never be healthcare without healthcare workforce. However much you bring shift or anything, it will not solve anything unless we have the doctors who are going to treat those patients.
Thank you.
Power.
As brief as that and as straight to the question as possible. Ashas, you want to help me, please? I need somebody on that end. Kindly, we go to the other end. Ashas? Okay.
Okay, comrades, power. So my name is Ngetich Cheribo from Moi University. I've been in school for 7 years, but currently my 5th year because of the perennial strikes in Moi University. Now, my question goes to Professor Machuki. You said that since the inception of the new funding model, which has been in existence for 2 years now, money has been able to be channeled to universities, and those that were almost being declared insolvent are now picking up. Now my question is, why not Moi University?
Thank you. No, thank you. Get me that mic. On this end, I need somebody this line. Alafu tutasonga hapa katikati so that as many people as possible can get a chance. Anybody speaking on this line? Who's that? Okay. End up mbele. Okay. Your name, the institution, and the question or the comment.
Okay, mine is a comment. And comrades, akamuuliza mama, umepika mboga gani? Akamuuliza mama, umepika mboga gani? Akaambia mama, sikuwa nataka sereve. Nilikuwa nataka sana compliment. Tukamuuliza WSR, amepika mboga gani? Akatuambia help. Tukamwambia WSR, hatutaki help. Tunataka nini?
Thank you very much. A question here. Ashas, please. You stand. Your name, the institution. Clap for that guy. He said a heavy point. Piga hiyo makofi. Kama hujaelewa nitakufafanulia.
Yes, my name is Enoch Oduor. I'm a student at Moi University. I'm currently taking medical laboratory sciences. I'm in my 5th year, but that course should be 4 years. On NFM, Prof, I have a question that, percentage always increases on valuation of byproduct. That means that 3% of 100,000 is not 3% of 600,000. Our courses in medical field are very expensive. So when you say 3% and you multiply, it's very expensive. So the student taking Bachelor of Science in Medicine and Surgery, nursing, they will end up with loans that they might not finish as early as they are employed. So what about that on percentage multiplication on courses that are very expensive? Thank you.
Thank you. That is a pigia makofi. Hiyo swali ni nzito. Allow to go back on the other side so that we get people on this end. Ashas, tafadhali mnisaidie Ashas. I want a lady from this place, if there is a lady. Okay, if there's no lady here, can I have a lady here? There's a lady there. There's a lady there. Men are busy mansplaining on the other side. We have a lady talking on the other side. Get that lady over there, please. Let's move. Get her. So that we flow. Nitakusort. Kuja. Nitakusort. Kuja. Kuja ukaya hapa. Mimi nitakusort. As in you are my little brother. How can I miss to sort you? Sit here. Sit here.
As I stated, I'm Chesang Samoya. I'm a student from Uasin Gishu County, but at Kenyatta University also. As we've gathered here, we came knowing that it's comrade-based. So I suggest any point that party is talking on comrade-based matter specifically. The thing that the party has addressed to us, it's matters of the national government. Tumeambiwa story ya SHA, story ya HELP, story ya affordable housing. In as much as those are the priorities, those are not the priorities for the comrades.
Thank you.
I want the party to address to us vitu kama postponement of grassroots elections. Comrades tulikuwa tumejiregister, tumesacrifice pesa yetu, haijakuwa addressed. Secondly, relax.
One, no.
Secondly,
nope. 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 Relax.
Secondly,
nope.
We are progressing, Bwana.
Nope.
Secondly,
don't shout.
To tell us
don't.
What have they done
don't
to
shout.
Empower student
Raise
leadership.
your point. Raise your point. Don't raise your voice. Raise your point. I proceed. Yes. Kata mic. We will move na mpangilio. Sindio? Comrades power. Comrades power. Comrades power. Nataka tuendelee na mpangilio. We said one issue, one question. So, how many, are you done with the issue? No, one. One. I want to give another lady. One. Another lady? Another lady? Get me another lady. Proceed. Get that mic.
Comrades power. Ladies in the house, hello. Men in the house, hi. Sawa sawa, naona mambo inachemka, lakini wacha tuulize hizi issues. She is right by asking where our issues as comrades are being they're evaluated. Kwa hivyo mimi nauliza maswali ya SHA. I walked into an hospital last week. I was feeling unwell. Nimelemewa. Kufika huko nikaambiwa NHIF haifanyi. Niende level 1, level 2, level 3 hospital. Now my question is, the reason as to why I chose the hospital that I walked into, because I had selected when I was using NHIF, it is because of the services na mambo ya haraka haraka. Then unanituma kwa hospitali ya level 1, level 2, level 3, ambayo congestion iko pale, hakuna madawa. Swali langu ni, what is the government doing to avoid issues ambazo tunaona kama ya Mama Lucy? mama wanalala chini, people are sick, people are unwell. Nikienda pale nikae kwa bench, hakuna dawa, madaktari hawako. What is the government doing to improve those hospitals ambazo mnatutuma kule? Because comrade hana any. Ataenda ile Huruma hospital, kufika pale akae kwa bench. Mpaka saa ngapi? What is the government doing on that?
Thank you very much. Clap for her. I will have Professor Machuki respond to that. I'm looking for ladies. And while you are here, there's a reason I said that even if you pay fees and you don't pay attention, you will not pass your exams. When we spoke about the new funding model, was it about government priority? It was about comrades. When we spoke about the opportunities in the housing finance, what was it about? It was about comrades. So you don't just come and pioneer. So come. Kuja. We've agreed with you, right? I'm so firm. So say
1 minute.
1 minute.
Yes. Can I fix all those questions?
No. Just go with one. Now, let's go into. No. One.
I got one for
One.
Machuki.
Run. One.
Comrade Power. So I have one question. Nimeambiwa ni one question. My question goes to, I concur with my sister. There's nothing that has been talking about comrades. So my question is, employment, apart from the housing, affordable housing, and jobs from abroad, what does the government has for a fresh comrade studying education in Moi University? Do you expect that student to go to Mujengo? What does the government has for these people? Not Mujengo on affordable housing, not jobs abroad. We want to talk, what does the government do to give a pay slip to these people? Not send me to Mujengo 450 and I'm studying for 1 million. Point number two, briefly, about funding model. You said the old funding model, the government saw that they could not afford to pay the 80%. My question is, where are they getting the money to give us loans in form of scholarships? If they could not fill the 80%, pesa inatoka wapi sai?
Anyone who remembers his name? Say Majina.
My name is Seth Keegan, University of Eldoret student.
Pigia him a coffee. Now. I need a lady here, and then we answer that, then we come to round 2.
Comrades, I'm not a student. I finished my college 2 years ago, but I have a question. No, I'm still a student.
Let me moderate. Comrades power. Hii ni ya comrades, si ndio? Hii ni ya comrades, si ndio? Haya basi. Nataka uende swali moja. Haya tumsikize. Comrades power. Comrades disperse.
Comrades power. So my point is, as we come from our institutions, there is some of the certain expectation. We need to talk to the ruling party so that they can work on our issues. If you limit us to one question, then definitely if we
ask the question.
Let me now ask a question.
I'll give you the second.
I have three concerns. As much as we are talking matters, youth comrades, Kenya, yes. We as the North Rift comrades also, we have our own issues that we feel like it needs to be addressed. The first issue. Number one, we have the questions which we raise in the cassetted new funding model committee. Of 129 students selected, 1 student representation from the North Rift. As you can see, these comrades, can they be represented with only one representation of the students? The second concern.
Pole, so that we clarify. There's only one.
The second concern.
Relax. Nataka tuende pole, so that we move with them.
Okay.
One.
The second concern. Yesterday we were following. Yes. Yesterday we were following the Mashujaa Day. And we heard there was a representation of 60 students representation to launch the supposed student accommodation. How many of you were among those who went to Kwale to represent the North Rift? Anyone? No one. Secondly, at least you have done a very good thing to bring us together. We as the North Rift students, starting from the sides of the Transoia Kitale to the end of Baraton University, all the way to Iten, we are going to march and we are going to request for our representation. Should the government not consider us? Many a times we are in the bedroom, but I feel like we should go to kitchen, we should go to sitting room, because that's where the people are eating at. So, my second concern, now to the professor.
That's number 4.
Yes, now to the professor. Concerning the affordable housing. Behind University of Eldoret, we have the ongoing project. And my students have been going there to tour the project. Can you organize for us, at least 20 students, to maybe be given an opportunity even to do the forward work, so that we can reduce the number of comrades in Amaring? Wanafunzi wangu wanainama, and if you give a chance of 50 students, then possibly we are going to reduce the number.
Thank you.
The last one.
That is number 5. You asked for 3.
The last one.
You asked for 3. Fair, to fair. You asked for 3. I've given you 4. You metosha. A lady, I want a lady. I want a lady, I love to respond. A lady. Wanaume mmeongea sana, I need a lady. Nitakupatia round 2. Kwanza wewe ni mtu wa timu yangu, nitakupea. Okay. Your name, your institution, and the question.
Comrades power. My name is Mercy Daisy, a student at KU. Niko na swali moja tu na naendelea kuinsist. Where is our place? Kwa hii table tuko wapi? Kwa hii table, kwa hii UDA tuko wapi kama comrades?
Asante.
Kwa pili, please. NFM. The prof has talked, ameongea mingi, ameinject, has left us completely confused, right? Atuelewi, atuget. Because ukituambia maneno ya band 1 to 5, are you trying to kujaribu kutufanya tusikie vibaya?
Okay. That is number 2. Thank you. What college do you come from?
I come from RVTTI. Allow me to express. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm clarifying something. It was a comment, so it's like 1 minute, okay? Thank you. Number 1, you see these comrades are very angry, and they told you very early in the morning. So these people, they need facilitation and refreshments such that they get energy to inject and reject what they don't deserve. The second thing is leadership. You see student leadership in UDA, they are taking puppets and then they brand them the leadership of comrades from all campuses only to users. We will not allow that one. Then on the other thing, you've had several comrades who are here are from Moi University. And Moi University, we have not learned for now like 2 months. And these people, I want them to use the same speed they use in impeaching the Deputy President regarding Gachagua'S to solve the issues of Moi University. We will not allow that one. We will not allow that one. Then on the last thing, the new funding model, Mr. Professor. You say you are in the presidential advisory team. The president on the new funding model, can you tell these comrades that a student studying education who is going to earn 35 to 40,000 is going to have a whooping loan of up to $500,000, earning 30,000 and a loan of $500,000? Are you going to pay the fees? Are you even going to survive? Are you going to build a home for your family? Are you going to change your life? Bwana, it is time to reject this thing. We are not comfortable.
Please clap for him. Clap for him. Now, I want you to give me your ears. It takes courage to stand up and say the things these people are saying. So mtu akiongea umpigie makofi. Wewe umenyamaza kwa nini? Auongei na upigi makofi. I'd like to bring the treasurer, Honorable Nyakundi, to respond first. Then I'll bring the SG, then I'll bring the panel and pick the second round. So Tulia.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Comrades wisdom. Comrades wisdom. A breakup should not find you single. Sindio? Lakini comrades munachocha. Comrades munachocha. Munachocha. But let me appreciate you, first of all, for the questions that you've asked. Some are very difficult questions. Some are easy questions, but I believe we are all here because we believe that as the UDA party, we should forge ahead as a team. Someone has asked us, where are you as comrades? The reason we started this comrades chapter is because we wanted to make sure that we involve the comrades from everywhere within this country. We've been in Nairobi, we've been in Kisumu, we've been in Nakuru. Right now we are in Eldoret, we have been in Mombasa, and we are going the entire country to make sure that comrades are involved in leadership and in governance of the UDA party. And all these comrades that you're seeing here leading this team, these are university students from the entire country which are constituted in making sure that we lead the comrades chapter the entire country. So, hawa wanaongoza hii kitu, hakuna mapuppet hapa. These are your colleagues and you're the ones who elected them in different universities. Number 2, tulieni, wacheni pressure. Tulieni. Number 2, we believe out of this comrades chapter, this is where we got so many people into leadership from the university. A good example is our Secretary General, Hassan Omar, who is seated here today. He was a student leader at Moi University, and I am going to give him, he's going to talk the issue about Moi University and the issues that are going on there, and we will not allow Moi University to go down because this is one of the most prestigious universities in this country. So hii issue ya Moi University lazima tutaisolve, si ndio? Because we believe Moi University has brought up leaders. A good example is SG Hassan Omar. Our chair, Cecil Mbarire, was also a student leader. Akina Babu Owino were student leaders. So we believe out of this, many of you will be members of parliament. Many of you will be CEOs. Many of you will be governors. Many of you will be in the governance issues of this country and in the center of the governance of this country. That is the reason we are here today. Someone has asked about the grassroots elections. As you know, most of you had paid for the grassroots elections. But because of so many issues, the GNZ came up, so many other issues came up. We believe from, I think, January, we will go back to the elections that we had already planned, and your money will not go in vain. And I want to encourage each and every one of you, take part in these elections, be part of the party, because this party belongs to you and me. Let us make sure that we build this party. And out of these grassroots elections, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, you are going to be the MCAs in your regions. You are going to be senators in your regions. You're going to be governors and members of parliament in your region. And I am telling you this today. Personally, I was elected at 33 years old. This party, so many people wanted to be given the ticket of UDA. But someone believed in me. Someone held my hand. Someone walked with me. I am the first person to be in the executive of the party as a first-time member of parliament, being a treasurer. What I'm telling you this today, believe in yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself. The UDA party does not favor anyone. As long as you are there and you get everything right, the UDA party will hold your hand. Personally, Dr. William Samoei Ruto held my hand. I knew nobody, I had no godfather, but God the Father, through William Ruto, held my hand and made me the treasurer of the ruling party. So, what I want to tell you today, comrades, always trust and believe in yourself. There was one issue that I am very passionate about, but the people of NEA are not here today. The National Employment Authority are not here today. I'm very passionate about NEA, National Employment Authority, because the president has signed so many bilateral labor agreements, jobs that are abroad. I know not all of us can get jobs within the country, but any opportunity that comes up, especially in the National Employment Authority, it is a good chance for us as young people to also look for those opportunities and go abroad. But I know there has been an issue, especially here in Rift Valley, especially on the first choice and the Finland issue, which I think National Employment Authority was supposed to be here so that we address that issue, because so many young people have lost money out of institutions or agencies that take their money, eat their money, and these young people don't get an opportunity to go outside there and study. And personally, I'm very passionate about NEA, and I really wanted them to be here, but Professor Machuki is here. Kindly, I request you to address the issue of NEA and how the young people who spent their money, who their parents sold their properties, sold their cows, sold their land so that they can take students abroad, but someone somewhere took their money and they are here not very favorable on that issue. So I believe that we should work together, and as a party, we will make sure that we mentor the young people of this country, because they are the leaders of today. Asanteni sana, na kutoka hapa tuna transact. Transact! Comrades, transact! Treasurer hawezi kuwa hapa na SG kuwa hapa alafu mkose transaction. God bless you. Mungu awa bless jamaa.
Asante sana. Comrades power. Comrades power. Many years back, kutoka Mombasa, I traveled by bus to come to Eldoret to join Moi University way back in 1995. I did not know then that Moi University and the great city of Eldoret was going to be the beginning of my political career in this country. It is for that reason today that we have decided, in the same vein and in the same breath, that once upon a time, when a platform was created for us to engage government, it is today for that reason, myself, my brother Aaron Cheriot, my sister Cicely Mbarire, who together we lead the UDA party, who are all students' leaders, decided that we must engage the comrades directly. I am grateful for one thing today before the Almighty God. In you, the conversation in this country must shift. With the same passion, you must discuss healthcare, you must discuss the new funding model, we must discuss agriculture, we must discuss everything. We must shift the conversation from ethnicity to issues. And that's what the Kenya Kwanza government has tried to do. Nyote, hapa, hakuna mtu amezungumza kabila yake, hakuna mtu aliyezungumza kikao chake, ama kule anatoka. Nyote mlizungumza yale malalamishi na zile issues that affect you directly. And for that we are extremely grateful. Number two, I want to assure you, this platform is not a platform in futility. It will not be in vain. One or two of you came with a good idea. And they came to the UDA Secretariat to say, under the leadership of Brian and others, that it is important to create a platform to engage the youth directly, particularly students in institutions of higher learning. They are not puppets. They are not sellouts. They simply came with a good idea that we embraced. That good idea, sometimes you might come with a good idea, but other people might improve it for you. There will be an opportunity for Brian and Deborah and everybody else who sit in the governing council, that within these students, they will ask that those who they elect democratically for you to pave way as interim officials. That is something that would happen in due course and eventually. It must happen. But first and foremost, we must finish our circuit all over Kenya. We have 4 or 5 more town halls to go so that we are more representative in terms of the conversation. Finally, I was very excited. That young lady who spoke there is actually going to be a leader. Her only question was, how do I take over this party? Bona mumesema bona election haziendelee. It is the pragmatic thing to do. For you to capture power, you must be in institutions that compete for power. They manifest themselves in political parties. So hata kama uko na ari nyingi, hata kama uko na changamoto nyingi, if you do not anchor your effort in political organizations, those that are established, those that you will establish, your effort is in vain. That's why you don't need to be leaderless, you don't need to be faceless. Some of you need to emerge as the leaders of those organizations. Now this is not only the present, the UDA is conscious that the future of this country and the present of this country, of this party, is within the youth. And for that reason, the elections as suggested or proposed will proceed, hopefully from January. Moving forward, we will proceed with the elections. Those of you ambao wanataka uongozi, kuchaguliwa ndani ya chama na kuchaguliwa katika nyadhifa tofauti tofauti, the party will hold free and fair elections so that hata hii kiti ya SG, hata hii kiti ya treasurer, hata hii kiti ya chairperson, zote will be up for grabs. So therefore, it will be for us to compete or for you to win these seats. We are only holding this party in trust for you so that once the grassroots elections are concluded, those who will be elected popularly will represent this party and take it to the next level. Finally, I think I'm happy that these men and women here have taken the courage to come and face the questions in terms of a town hall. The most effective, tested and trusted avenue of direct democracy is through town halls. We will continue to have these town halls, no matter how emotional they are, no matter how sometimes anxious they become, because it is not in our interest to stage manage these things. It is our interest to hear an honest conversation from the youth of this republic, represented by the cream who sit in institutions of higher learning. Lastly, hata kama yule alisema mtu fulani alitolewa haraka, wajua sasa deputy president anatoka Moi University, yule anaingia SG ya chama anatoka Moi University. Hiyo Moi University haiwezi kwenda. I will not have a degree in my office that has no institution. Simi nimeweka hapo degree na ile foundation of knowledge. My life was largely in Keses and Cheptiret. I believe the university, and Professor Bachuki will explain that, the whole idea was to ensure that universities are made sustainable. Mimi nilikuwa at the same time at the university, Moi University, na Professor Machuki. Professor Machuki was studying economics, I was studying law. He made the right decisions, I didn't. I touch. Professor remembers very well, at that time, Professor used to get 40,000 in student loan through the Higher Education Loans Board. I used to get 18,000. Sijui kwa nini walinipa 18,000, lakini mimi pia nilijihisi ni maskini. Lakini it is because of the information we provided. Niliandika iko kanyumba kadogo, babangu ali-inherit. So ikanipeleka credit yangu ikawa juu. Nikaandika niko na kitu nyingine kidogo, ni watu mama ako naye, ikapeleka credit yangu juu. Labda Professor Machuki aliandika hakuna nyumba, hakuna kazi, hakuna chochote. Ikasema yeye hapa yote, mimi nikanyimwa nusu. So we need to have a way that we engage to ensure that this system is foolproof. Hata katika ulimwengu, Professor usema kila siku, there are haves and have-nots. Kuna wale ni matajiri. Wale matajiri hawawezi kupatiwa ufadhili wa serikali na kuasi maskini apate elimu. We must be a just and equitable society. A just and equitable society means We must have social justice to make those who are worse off better off before those who are better off become well off. And that's what we must do. We must put money to ensure that we bridge the deficit in healthcare, we bridge the deficit in education, we bridge the deficit in housing, so that those who are less fortunate are made to have a dignified life and to be given a fighting chance. And the only equalizer in society. The reason I was in Senate with the son of the former President Daniel Moi was not because of anything else. Outside God, it was because of education. Education is an enabler, education is an equalizer. So we want to ensure kila kijana anapatiwa fursa ya kusoma, so that we are not creating a cadre of lords because they can afford education and creating those of the lower classes because they can't afford education. Na hii serikali yetu campaigned on a platform of giving hope to the hopeless, of giving opportunity to those who are not in the economic prism, a platform of inclusion called the Hustler Agenda. That is the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, which is an inclusive agenda to ensure that there's education opportunities for all Kenyans, the rich and the poor. Kwa hivyo, tafadhalini, tukija kwa hizi town hall, we have come to engage constructively because we are honest, we want honesty, and we have come here today to hear you. Na kijana ndugu yangu hapo, tumekusikia. Kijana pale, tumekusikia. We take notes. Na wale yule mwanadada, tumekusikia. Wanaotaka uchaguzi. Na wale waliosema hakuna student agenda. There is a lot. We have said the new funding model has been the most pressing issue within the students, and that's why Professor Maduki spoke to it. The housing agenda to bridge the housing deficit or the accommodation deficit in the universities has been another. And as we progress, we will come to know more and more of what are the things that we devil or the things that are of a great concern to you. And finally, the instructions I have from His Excellency the President is to ensure
in all counties, mostly at the county commissioner's office. So you come to the county office, then you will be assisted with your proposal, you will be funded. We are there to finance and monetize your ideas. And I want to appreciate that through UDA party, we are providing the party is providing a structured way of engaging comrades. In the last edition that we had in Kisumu, we have been able to get some comrades. There is one comrade who actually has a farmers circle society. It's called South Mugirango Farmers Circle Society. And there are also other comrades who have poultry business and other initiatives. So we are here to help you monetize that idea that you have, because you have the potential, you have the creativity and innovativeness, and you can actually create jobs while you are still in the university. So with the group loans, they have 0 interest and they do not need any collateral. You just need that group. You need a bank account, then come to Youth Fund office, you will be assisted. We also have individual loans. We give up to 2 million Kenyan shillings. Once you come with security, you can get it from your parents. You come to Youth Fund, we can help you to get an individual loan for you to start and run a business. And we have sector-specific loans. With sector-specific loans, we finance young people. We have a Talanta loan. Talanta loan is for young people who are in the creative arts, in music, or in any space with creative space. I know we have very many content creators here. Do we have any content creators in the house? Yes, so with content creators, you can tap into Talanta loan. Then we help you to buy the equipment that you need for you to start your business and monetize that content creation. You generate income while you are studying. We have agribusiness loan is for youth who are involved in agribusiness ventures. Then we have Go Green loan is for youth who have ideas or projects in climate change. And we are looking up to you as young people. You don't have to conform to the traditional mentality of going to school, getting good grades, then you come out to look for a job. Take advantage of these opportunities that the government is offering so that you can start something. You are talking about money in the pocket. We are talking about how we can help you with whatever idea you have to monetize that idea and run some business. You don't have to be the one running that business. You can actually get the money from Youth Fund, then you hire someone. That is what many comrades are doing. You get money, you hire someone to run the business, and you supervise during your free time, and it is very, very possible.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maliba, you can just allow me. I didn't even get a time to talk about Youth Fund. Allow me just briefly.
Let's get,
okay.
Doris, please. Anything you want to actually put through, Doris? In a minute.
Okay, thank you so much.
Priority. Sawa?
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. I want to thank UDA party for giving us this platform so that we can engage with youths and we can air out our issues. And I wanted to talk about women leadership.
In a minute, please.
This women leadership, I want to thank them because they have involved women in this leadership. And as women, there are many issues that we are going through, especially me, I'm from Baringo County. And as you know, Baringo County is prone of early marriages. And how can we curb these early marriages? It is through us being leaders. And I want to tell you, ladies, let us come out and start being leaders. You know, there is a methali saying, bandu bandu umaliza gogo. This methali means that the small steps you take in life will end up being something big. So you can start being a student leader in your university. The next time you may be an MCA, and the next time you may be a governor. So I want to urge you people to at least engage in this forum and let us make change. If you have issues, kindly channel it. So that it can.
To your office, and then in 2 minutes, kindly. Wananyima speaker wa serikali speaker.
Tunanyima speaker. Sauti itafika tu. So I think for us, when somebody says there are digital jobs, yes, digital jobs are there, but there are also other jobs. Mmesema kama vijana mtapataje kazi, government has come in with internship program, which is taking new university guys. When you leave university, before you start working, especially for you doctors, there is that internship. Yes, maybe it has taken long to take them on board, but there was a talk the other day, and they have agreed. Most of the doctors, interns, are being taken in. Even the teachers, almost 46,000, if I'm not wrong, the process of taking them in as permanent and pensionable staff is happening even today. The whole of this week, they have been around taking them and checking their verification, verifying their certificates, and most of them are going to be taken in. And again, they are taking new teachers as interns, almost 20,000 again. So government is trying. As you know, the fact is, in Kenya, the guys who are working, the civil servants, are less than 1 million. We are 55 million. So it means government cannot employ everyone. But it creates conducive environment for others to create employment for the youth, like EPZ zones are coming up. There is special economic zones are coming up. They are bringing investors from abroad who will come and employ us. In Naivasha here, kuna ya magari. Sasa utakani kwenda kutafuta gari kule ngambo, you just go there and get your car. So those EPZ and even county aggregation industrial park by our counties are doing the same job to create employment. So employment is a concern. We know very well something is happening. The government has brought the internship to start so that zile unangoja kupata ile pesa ya pensionable, at least you have something. Hata kama ni 25,000 hiyo is better than staying at home waiting for your time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have got 5 minutes to TV47 going off live. We are live now. In 5 minutes they'll be going off. So, James, kindly, 2 minutes so that I give 3 minutes to Professor Machuki, then we can continue offline.
Okay, thank you. Is affordable housing a project for only Mjego workers? No. Affordable housing has direct and indirect jobs. Direct jobs are those that the workers working in the construction site. They could be architects, engineers, kadaya mkono, that's all. 3 to 5 jobs, probably per unit. That's the average. Indirect jobs are way big, 8 to 12. Factories that are manufacturing heating systems, factories that are manufacturing switches, electrical, factories that are manufacturing steel, cement, all of our wide range of employment. Beyond that, management of tenant purchase, mortgages, structuring, accountants, economists are required. Good jobs, they are available in affordable housing. Marketers for the affordable housing, marketers for production that goes to construction of the houses. It's wide. The industry of construction is big, and what the affordable housing is creating is a challenge, has created an opportunity, and the opportunity comes with jobs. Someone asked how to access units, rich people who access houses faster than the one who don't have. No. There are social houses. There are specific houses for social people living in slums. They are directly for people who are living in the slums. In the next couple of years, 10 years, we will not be having the largest slum in Africa called Kibera. We are going to have the largest estate in Africa, no slums. We have embarked on a strategy of working and reducing Kibera practically and bringing new settlements. Construction is ongoing in Kibera, and those houses are being targeted for the people living in Kibera. And again, the platform is online. Star 832 hash, you start your home journey. You don't need to know anyone. Select the houses where you want. If it's for targeted people in the slums, it is targeted for those specific people. And finally, okay, let me stop there.
Thank you, Professor Machuki. Thank you very much. The questions that were asked, so many of them belong to what I'm handling, and I want to move with speed to answer them. There is a question that has come on board regarding the sustainability of the new funding model. And the issue is those from the humble background with regard to the percentage of the loan that was asked, and it has come on that it will burden them into the future. If you have seen the terms of reference for the capital that has been established, one of those that are being handled in the terms of reference is actually the loan structure, the interest repayment, and whether that will be sustainable. And I want to leave it there because it is one of the issues that the committee will deal with. Another question is the injection of 140 billion into the digital health platform. Why could this not have been injected into NHIF? One thing that is for sure, maybe one could have asked the question, what are the components of this digital health platform that will go into this cost? This is a massive digital health platform, never seen, more than what we have in NEMIS, more than what we have in KRA, more than what we have in NTSA, and it is a massive system. When costed and the cost was presented, a lot of negotiations and a lot of recasting, and it was seen because of the infrastructure involved to onboard all Kenyans, to onboard all health institutions at different levels, to do claims management and the claims processing. It is a massive platform, so that by the end of the day, the challenges in NHIF, the challenges in fictitious claims, the governance issues are dealt with. So you look at the cost-benefit analysis in terms of the investment of that 140 billion. The issue about medical interns, I think it has been handled by Arab Sang. But I wanted also to add that over and above the digital hubs in terms of sources of employment, over and above government internship, over and above the labor migration and so forth, there is an opportunity in job creation that is in micro, small, and medium enterprises. There is a lot of opportunity in entrepreneurialism. And that is why, if you listen very carefully, one of the core principles is democratization of the economy, so that everybody comes on board into that job market where you create jobs and not seek jobs. The other question is about Moi University. I have a lot of information, but given the time, I may not address it. One, the matter is already a discussion in the Parliamentary Committee on Education, and it is being canvassed in Parliament for mechanisms on how Moi University can be resuscitated. But the question was, if the 2022 KCSE students under the new funding model worked, and many universities, out of the 43 universities came on board, out of those 43, around 23 came on board and saying they are coming out of their indebtedness. Moi University's issues are historical, and I can tell you one fact. All universities, public universities, are suffering from the deflation of the Module 2. Many universities went the Uchumi way. If you know Uchumi, went expanding, opening branches, buying land, building their own structures. By the time the structures are complete, there was no money to put goods on the shelves. So I know there are universities that have taken bold steps. My own university, University of Nairobi, campus in Mombasa, another one here in Eldoret within the town, another, and so forth and so on, to take and to get those who could not access into the government admission in the famous program of Module 2. But now that pool of Module 2 has been depleted. It is not there. What did they do? They invested in infrastructure. They brought in a lot of staff. They got into so many investment. But now the Module 2 is no longer there to generate the income to be able to pay into the investment that were done there. And that is one of the problems. The other one is about the staff, CBS and so forth, and that they are being handled by the Ministry of Education. I don't want to delve into it, but as Omar Hassan said, the Secretary General, I was a student of Moi University, and many of those who are here were also students in Moi University. We will not want to have certificates without that institution. And Moi University being the second university to be established in Kenya after University of Nairobi cannot go down while there is leadership. So there are some issues in there that are university specific that are going to be dealt with. And as a council, we proposed a governance framework for the management of public universities, and it is going to be a process for purposes of revitalizing the management of public universities in Kenya, Moi University being inclusive. And therefore, the new funding model resources that went into the 2022 students, you also know that Moi University has a higher capacity, but what then happens is that the students who get placed there by the CUSPs is lower than their capacity. So sometimes then those issues, they have invested in facilities, but that capacity is not utilized fully. So it is a conversation that leadership will go through. We will be there to also advise on how that can be revitalized. There is another question on the percentage of the loan from the household and to the absolute figure. Like 3% of 100 and the 3% of 1 million are not the same. Now, as I said, among the terms of reference, one of the components that are being handled by the chair of that cohort, who is Professor Karuti Kanyinga of the Institute of Development Studies, University of Nairobi, should be able to delve into the loan structure, the interest, and the sustainability, and I may not want to go into details, but I'll tell you this. If you checked on the new funding model, you will find that there is there is a consideration in terms of the amount of repayment across the different bands, and it then gives you an opportunity to see if you have given information, and through the means testing instrument, it is not going to be a standard percentage of payment from the household. And you realize, if you look at the statistics, currently we have very few students from humble backgrounds joining universities. Many of those who join are from those who have been able to access quality basic education, and they have been able to progress. This new university funding model has a ripple effect to ensure that when basic education programs are in place and you have many students from humble backgrounds joining universities, the very few you see make less than 1.2% of the students who join university from the very humble backgrounds. Majority of them don't make it because they have been condemned to that condition. And the new funding model is an intention to get them out of that when they go through that particular aspect. On SHA, SHIF, can I say that one of the challenges currently being witnessed in whether NHIF is working or not working, the first thing I want to say here, government has given instruction to health facilities, both private and not those that are public, to continue offering services to citizens when they go for those services, as the transition is happening. Among the issues being dealt with, and His Excellency the President pointed that out yesterday, was the empanelment and the signing of contracts by the private healthcare providers with the Social Health Authority. And that process, once it is complete, you might go to a private health facility that has not been empaneled to offer service. Or if it has been empaneled, the system has not picked, and the issues within that particular contract have not been fully put on the system. So it is something that once in the coming few weeks is completed, I am sorry that the picture that was shown from the Mama Lucy Hospital, you know, Mama Lucy Hospital is under county government. And therefore, the county government is well sized to deal with those particular issues. How national government works with the county government in healthcare provision is provided for in the 4th schedule, and County Government Act and all those other acts that we have said here, and there is a responsibility at county government level to ensure that there is access to healthcare services when citizens go into those facilities that are managed by county governments. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
1 minute.
Joshua, okay, Joshua, as you know, we are in Moi University Town Hall, and as we all know, you're from Moi. Why did you not comment anything about it?
That's what I wanted to say. I am alumni of Moi University. I want to support what SG say, and more so, coming from this region, Moi University will not die.
Thank you. Okay, Maniba, what should we do for it?
Guys, since we've been standing for a very long, we've been seated for a long time, please let's stand up and stretch. Just stand up. Let's stand up, all of us. Let's stand up, all of us. All of us. Let's stand up. Let's stand up. Comrades, power. Comrades, power. National anthem.